Hello and welcome everybody to this week's podcast. Welcome to Edinburgh Napier, the first podcast of this year for this intake. And after the first round where we just got to know each other a little bit, I want to introduce the role of PDT to you in a bit more detail, especially for those people who were not able to make it to the induction week, that haven't been registered, maybe just arrived in the country and heard about what is this PDT thing. So the first thing I want to do is welcome you once again. Hello, good that you are here. And we want to make your time here as straightforward, smooth, and successful as possible. So who is this guy that is your PDT? My name is Roland. I'm from Germany. I did 2 master degrees in the UK. I was a program lead in China and was teaching worldwide during the pandemic before I joined Edinburgh Napier as a personal development tutor. During all that time, I was focusing on helping students to learn how to learn, to give them the skills that they need to complete assessments the way they are intended to be completed and get high grades. So the main thing I want to do here with you is to help you navigate through Edinburgh Napier. Most of the MBA students are not British students, have not been studying in the UK and did not grow up and went through the British education system from childhood onward. So there will be a lot of differences, and to overcome the difficulties, understanding these differences, and to be successful despite the challenge, that is what I'm here for. And when you follow my podcast on MS Teams and on YouTube, this one only on YouTube actually, you will follow what's going on in British higher education system. Why are the things how they are, and how can I be successful, although I have not learned how to be successful in that system. Pro tip, it is not that hard, just takes a little bit of effort and knowing what to look out for. So some of the examples of the things that I do in my role as PDT. All our conversations are confidential. Only you and I know what we are talking about, unless I have to refer you to somebody else. I can't do everything by myself. I have a lot of colleagues that help me and specialized support that I can contact to help you when that special support is needed. What I also do is I am always available for you to contact me and discuss the challenges and your personal route that you want to follow through your academic and personal journey here when you're studying at Edinburgh Napier. I also give people referrals and recommendations for further study. Now, when you look at the FAQ, more about this in a moment, you will see references for jobs are somewhere else. Academic references and referrals is what I'm doing. Now, that does not mean I do everything for you. You can't just drop your bag and I do your study for you. That's not what this role is about. The other thing you need to bear in mind, I'm not the person that gives you better marks. You get the marks that your work deserves. There is a lot more conversation about this obviously in the induction week, but in short, there is very straightforward marking criteria that your work is being compared to. And depending on how well you perform based on these criteria, you get your mark. Now, I can't fix all your problems with the push of a button. You need to give me time to actually absorb what you are telling me to look into the matter, potentially contact other people, and yet you can expect an answer from me within 3 days. Usually within a few hours, because most of my work is online, working on my emails, working on my podcast, and I immediately see or hear when somebody pops into my inbox. Do not expect instant replies, but very, very often I already know the answer, and many times the answer is go look there. And that is also what you should expect and not expect. Do not expect that I am taking you by the hand and do everything step by step for you and you are watching. I am not your personal Google or anybody else's Google, and I don't wait in my email and start an instant chat with you. There is so many students, 2,500 roundabout at last count, and it will take a lot of time if all of these students keep coming with the same kind of things. So we are talking about postgraduate students. So we can expect from you that you are proactive and take control of your study. We also can expect reasonable self and time management skills, that you do not run into problems through these things. And trust me, a lot of times it is the small things that cause big problems in the end. But when you actively try to find solutions instead of taking every problem and throw it to somebody else, when you don't wait until the problem becomes so big that nobody can really do anything about it, you will have eliminated almost, I would say, 90% of the problems that people are facing during their study. So how does this work? So the first thing you should be doing when you are encountering an issue is check module and program handbooks. The chances are very high that the solution is already there. Control F, keyword search. You can also do a keyword search on My Napier, which is our student portal, and you can check my FAQ on LS002698, the PDT module. A lot of the help that you can access when things go wrong or when you think things go wrong, the solution is probably already there. Now, in the unlikely event that this is not the case or you really can't make an end of it, drop me an email. And I have to say that for the YouTube version of my podcast, don't ask your question in the comments. Email me. You want confidentiality, and I will do everything I can to provide that. But if you put your question out there in a public forum like YouTube, that's on you. So please use my email. So I understand that, especially during the induction, I could see that a lot of people got bored, that we kept on talking about personal responsibility, being an adult, being courteous to each other and to us. And it is unfortunate, yes, we get very, very few students that do not follow these rules, do not follow these instructions, get into trouble, and it is not a positive situation for them, for us, and also their fellow students. What I don't want to happen, or what nobody at the business school wants to happen, is that you are failing a module, or that by failing a module you do not get your MBA. We want you to be successful, and the things we keep reminding you about are, for really the most part, very, very small things, very small steps that you can easily take if you are consciously engaging with your study instead of I'm here, where is my degree? This is not how it works. And the marking criteria for your success are not set by you. They are set based on international standards. The last thing a student wants, and if you reflect about that, you will hopefully agree with me. You do not want to just get a degree. You go into a job and people realize, yeah, you have a degree, maybe even an A, but you really don't know what you're talking about. You can get fired from a job 2 or 3 times until people know, don't hire that person. So the last thing you want is a degree that essentially becomes useless. So you have a tremendous opportunity, an opportunity that very few people get. You are studying abroad. That is a really big challenge. You have to be really, really brave and strong to do that. But I want to remind all students, especially the postgraduate students, you are not stupid. There are no stupid students, especially not at the postgraduate level. If you were stupid, you wouldn't get that far. It is as simple as that. And because this is, for many of our students, the first time they are outside of their usual environment, outside their own country, maybe even in an environment where the language is different, there are so many challenges. And I remember I had this conversation with one of my students, and I said, well, I suppose the first time you really realized this is not what I expected is when you step out of the airport and it is much colder here in Scotland than in your home country. And the student agreed. It is those small things. And the last thing you need then is that your own commitment, that your own passion for completing your study is not there when you need it. Because if it is, if you really positively and consistently engage with your study, there is no reason why you shouldn't be successful. I completed 2 master degrees, and I am very, very confident that everybody who really tries hard, openly attempts to understand what is going on, how do I do this, will get there. So the manual for success really is follow these instructions. There is a reason why we keep repeating it again and again and again. It's not because we like listening to ourselves or because of any other reason other than this is really important. These are really the basic steps that if you get them wrong, there is very, very little chance that you can catch up. Because at the end of the day, it is your study, your career, your life. All the positive or negative outcomes of your actions are for yourself to enjoy or to bear. And once again, I want to repeat, a bit of courtesy goes a long way. We are trying to be friendly, open, and show courtesy and respect to you. And we hope that you can do the same to us. Success is what you make of it. And I hope this is the first interaction that I have with you on your journey to be a successful MBA graduate at Edinburgh Napier University. Thank you so much. Have a good weekend and see you next week.